The Senate President Joe Biden gave the finger to House Republicans looking to question him behind closed doors. At a public press conference, Hunter Biden said that while he's willing to testify in a public congressional hearing, he will not be doing so in a private deposition, a direct challenge to Republicans. In fact, here's some of that conference.
But I'm also here today to correct how the MAGA right has portrayed me for their political purposes. For 6 years, MAGA Republicans, including members of the House committees who are in a closed-door session right now, have impugned my character, invaded my privacy, attacked my wife, my children, my family, and my friends. They have ridiculed my struggle with addiction. They have belittled my recovery, and they have tried to dehumanize me, all to embarrass and damage my father. For 6 years, I have been the target of the unrelenting Trump attack machine, shouting, "Where's Hunter?" Well, here's my answer. I am here.
He's right there. He's right there. So, look, Hunter Biden obviously refusing to play the game that Republicans want him to play. He wants a transparent process. I'm not against that. I think that's a great idea. I think we should have a transparent process. Yes, I don't blame him for not trusting Republicans at all. I mean, if you were in his position, would you trust Republicans? Would you trust James Comer? Would you trust Jim Jordan? Speaking of Comer and Jordan, Hunter went on to name some names.
James Comer, Jim Jordan, Jason Smith, and their colleagues have distorted the facts by cherry-picking lines from a bank statement, manipulating texts I sent, editing the testimony of my friends and former business partners, and misstating personal information that was stolen from me. There is no fairness or decency in what these Republicans are doing. They have lied over and over about every aspect of my personal and professional life. They displayed naked photos of me during an oversight hearing. They have no shame. These same committee chairmen have engaged in unprecedented political interference in what would have already been a 5-year investigation of me. Republicans do not want an open process where Americans can see their tactics, expose their baseless inquiry, or hear what I have to say. What are they afraid of?
What are they afraid of? It's a good question. I know the answer to it. People seeing Hunter Biden's side of the story. Look, Republicans, it's not a surprise that they want to control the narrative. The narrative actually isn't even about Hunter Biden at all. It's about his dad and this alleged, influence peddling scheme with China and Burisma, Ukraine. It's about making people believe that narrative, that a father just helping his son financially during a difficult time is some sort of nefarious thing. And look, the reason is because it humanizes Joe Biden. Look, I have some policy differences with Joe Biden. Of course I do, especially on foreign policy. Like, for example, I don't think he's been forceful enough at establishing a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. I think it's been, frankly, shameful what's been going on here. Congressional staffers, congressmen, senators, representatives, just completely ignoring their constituents who are calling, overwhelmingly, Democrats call for a ceasefire in Gaza, right? Now, that said, this situation in Gaza also puts me at odds to people like Bernie Sanders, who I more closely align with when it comes to policy. That said, personality-wise, personality and policy have to be two different things. Whereas I might disagree a lot more with Joe Biden, the politician, I actually empathize with Joe Biden, the father, because he seems like a pretty decent guy. Look, Joe Biden, the politician, I think is more of a conservative Democrat. I'm a leftist. So we have our differences, but at the same time, you can bridge those differences, those divides, with empathy. And that's what I have. And so I appreciate Biden helping his son get through addiction. Addiction is a very difficult thing. It's not easy. It tears families apart. And look, I'm going to note that they're very, very fortunate that they're wealthy, that they have financial means to be able to battle addiction, unlike so many different families in this country that are facing addiction right now. And it frustrates me that Biden's drug policies are still kind of stuck in the old, war on drugs mentality. For example, he did expand the use of mandatory minimums when it comes to fentanyl. So, and I understand fentanyl is a huge, gigantic problem in the country, but at the same time, you don't really address it, or you shouldn't be addressing it with these same tough on crime policies that never worked before in anything else. Now, to his credit, Biden has issued federal pardons for simple marijuana possession, as well as new DOJ prosecutorial guidance to reduce sentence disparities between crack and powdered cocaine. At the same time, I think a full decriminalization is what we need desperately as a country to end the drug war. But Biden he's not going for that. He could do so much more and refuses to do it. That said, the difference is here, right? You would think that he would be more empathetic, more understanding, given how his son had dealt with addiction himself. But he's not going in that direction. That said, getting away from the policy here, Republicans, look, they're launching this attack on Hunter Biden, not because of, any concerns like with actual corruption or the law. No, it's a political attack. In fact, James Comer accidentally betrayed that in this video. Take a look.
This has been, I think, the most transparent political congressional investigation since I've been in Congress for 7 years.
Whoopsie. Oh my God, he admitted.
And there it is. Slip of the tongue, betraying his entire motive.